Alrighty. Hello everyone. Today no music, as we are going to play around with sounds, I guess. Not sure how to begin, so maybe let's organize our thoughts a little. So one thing I want to do is, I don't know what the name is, maybe find the proper name. I guess it has no specific name, but it is a part of adaptive music. Transition. Okay, but there are two things we can do. One easy thing is vertical orchestration. How to say orchestration, which is just using different layers of the music and turning their volume up and down, which we do in the cliff jump. Oh my god, my eye is killing me today. Hay fever, I swear. Hang on. So yeah, that's one thing. But what I actually want to do is horizontal resequencing, where when we're in the overworld and then we touch an Ordling, there's this explosion time. And from there, I want to catch us a place from the music where we can transition into the battle music. And the problem is the explosion is not really long, rather short. So can we actually reach one of these cues to change to the battle music? And how would that even work? How would I design this? I guess I could just use different layers. Right? Like these tracks, I can turn them on and off. Use them as the transition line. What was that? Why is there a pattern? Why are there so many? Paint tool, that's why. Why do we have these things? Can I get a sample? What does this sound like? Doesn't matter. Can I open one of my older... This one? No. I don't even know if I should use this. It sure sounds very, very simple, generic. How would I even make cues here? How long does a explosion take us? One, two, below 2 seconds right now. Could make the explosion slower, of course, but at some point it's too slow. 1, 2. 1, 2. Can only get to one note. I guess when we are exploded, we can maintain the white or black fade. Switch the music and then fade out. Shouldn't take too long, of course. Oh my god, my eye. How should my battle music sound like? Not only that, okay, this is getting out of hand. So battle music horizontal resequencing would be the thing. Probably, I'm not sure if this is the right term. Let's Google that term. See what these people say.
Welcome, I'm Winifred Phillips, and thanks for joining me for another installment of A Composer's Guide to Game Music video example series. These videos are a supplement to my book, A Composer's Guide to Game Music. In this video, I'll be showing you a basic example of a horizontal resequencing technique for game music interactivity. You can find a full definition and discussion of horizontal resequencing in my book, A Composer's Guide to Game Music. In this Pro Tools session, I'm going to show you 2 examples of simple horizontal resequencing from one of my projects, the Speed Racer video game. Speed Racer is a racing game that takes place on neon-bright, futuristic tracks in which the cars can reach speeds of over 300 miles per hour. When players fill their boost meter, they can access a temporary enhancement called Zone Mode. Lasting 15 seconds, this mode dramatically increases driving speed and makes it easier to annihilate other cars on the track. The music design for the game required that the Zone Mode have its own music. So every piece of racing music in the game had to also have a 15-second Zone Mode composition that could be triggered at any time. This comprised a simple interactive music structure that was made up of 2 chunks of music. One chunk could interrupt the other at any time. Let's take a listen to the Fuji Halexicon music, which was written for a racetrack in an island setting. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the Zone Mode track for Fuji Halexicon. Each Zone Mode track is structured with a short heat up and cool down section at the beginning and end. These lasted about 4 beats apiece and allowed for the Zone Mode to be cross-faded with the main track. Let's hear what one of the heat ups sounded like. You'll notice that the beat here is strongly reinforced, and that there are sonic effects involving a synth and some voices that intensify the energy leading into the Zone Mode. Okay, now, here's how the cool down sounded. Again, the beat is accentuated just as it was before, and it's now coupled with an aural de-escalation effect. Okay, now, let's back things up a bit and play the music so that we can watch how this Zone Mode can be triggered during gameplay. Notice how the transition works both into and out of the Zone Mode.
I guess. I don't like fading here.
In the game, the Zone Mode can be triggered at any point during any piece of racing music. So let's take a look at another example of the horizontal resequencing for Zone Mode in Speed Racer. This track is titled Zoom, and it was one of the pieces of music that made appearances throughout the game, not just in a particular location. The tempo is faster in the Zoom music, and the musical treatment of the Zone Mode is more melodic than it was for the Fuji Halexicon music. However, the basic structural principles are the same. The Zone Mode has a heat up and a cool down segment. This allows the Zone Mode to emerge from the main track and signal to the player that they're in the zone. Let's listen to this second example of simple horizontal resequencing in action.
I don't know. I'd rather have the transition be its own chunk. Like this, it's like, I don't know, it feels like the vertical layering.
I hope you enjoyed this basic demonstration of a two-chunk horizontal resequencing structure as it was used in the Speed Racer video game. You can read more about horizontal
I don't know.
resequencing in my book, A Composer's.
Let's see what this guy says.
When it comes to music in video games, there are two main techniques that pretty much all games utilize.
I don't need an intro.
Sometimes with my students, I call this hamburger and railroad sequencing. So vertical sequencing, which is the hamburger, means that files are actually stacked on top of each other. And depending on what is happening in the game, all or some of those files might actually be playing. And then something else happens in the game and we switch. We might bring down the volume of one and bring up the volume of the other. So if we had three different files stacked on top of each other, and let's say they're all parts of the same song, we might have
Yeah, that's what I gathered
melody
from now.
and chords and bass. We might only hear chords and the bass, or we might not hear the melody, but hear the chords and the bass and the drums. We might only hear the drums, and maybe we get
like I said, this is what I will use for
and we get
cliff
farther
jump.
away from the boss and the drums get quieter. Now, some creative games actually do completely different songs. So it's not just different parts or different stems of the same song. It's actually one song that transitions into another, but on some level, they're all sort of stacked on top of each other, waiting for the trigger to happen so that we can reshuffle the volume.
Exactly. This is what the other video said as horizontal sequencing, but this guy is correct. What she did was not horizontal sequencing or resequencing. It was this hamburger mode, the vertical layering, whatever, because they just faded in and out. It's whatever.
Now, if you utilize this technique, pretty much everything needs to be the same length, and it's usually advisable that everything is the same tempo and give or take the same key. So this is why it's very, very common to see this as different parts of the same song or different stems of the same song. But I've seen some really creative composers do completely different songs and do it in a way that it makes very much musical sense when we fade in between the different parts.
Oh, something in Helldivers is happening. Let me see. Oh no. More codes.
Now, the other technique, which is very common, is the horizontal. Or the railroad. In horizontal, we don't really have the files stacked on top of each other in the same way. Instead, it's more like we are triggering one file and then triggering another file and then triggering another file, and they're all connected like a train.
Exactly, that's what I want.
We call it railroad or horizontal. Now, there is usually a little bit of overlap that happens when the tail of the previous file is played and the beginning of the new file. There's usually a little bit of overlap that happens, and that's one thing that we do to keep things smooth. So even though there are railroad, there is a tiny bit of there's a few moments when
So maybe I'm wrong.
at the same time. But this is very, very common for one song to transition into another, or sometimes even just one bar or one section of a song to transition into another, depending on what's happening in the game. Now, we shouldn't think of this as an either or technique. It's not like you choose vertical or horizontal. Most games, we do some combination of both of them. So you might have a railroad during a fight, and then maybe we get into a calmer exploration moment, and then there we get into the hamburger or the vertical. So we do horizontal into the vertical, and then we spend some time in the vertical, and then we do a horizontal transition into a new vertical section, and so on. So we're kind of going back and forth between the two techniques, depending on what makes the most sense musically. Okay, one of the easiest ways of seeing the difference between these two is actually going into the Wise launcher And if you open up the sample and the sample project, which is available to everybody, totally free. Now, to be clear, none of this is unique to Wise. These concepts can be done in any game engine or any game audio middleware, but Wise has an easy way for me to show you how it works. So if you open up, you're in the sample project, you open up the interactive music hierarchy, and then we go to music, we go to in-game music. There's one that's set up vertically and one that is set up horizontally. So this is the railroad and that one is the hamburger. So let's look at the fight, which is the horizontal version. Now you can see there's only one audio file. There's nothing stacked on top of each other. We have this, which is the entry cue, this, which is the exit cue. But actually you can see that it starts early.
If anyone wants to
called pre-roll, and this is what we sometimes call
watch this video,
so
I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a pre-roll, we have an in point, we have an out point, and then we have the post-roll, which is just kind of reverb and delay, and so on. If we link these together, you'll see that they go 1, 2, 3, 4, one after another. And every now and then you're going to see two different arrows playing at the same time. That's when one of the tracks post-roll is playing over the entry point of the other track.
Mm-hmm. I didn't pay attention, but I can see what's going on.
So you can see that pretty much every cue is about 2 bars long, and they just kind of go 1, 2, 3, like a railroad, all connecting, where the entry connects to the next one's exit cue, and then whatever is overlapping overlaps accordingly. So that is the horizontal or railroad technique. Let's look real quickly at the vertical or the hamburger technique. So you can see in this one, there's actually multiple files stacked on top of each other. And these are actually connected with this one slider that they call stealth factor. So if you look at the ambient and the stealth drums ambient, now I've already looked at this cue, but I know that when this stealth factor is already down at the bottom, then this ambient and this stealth drums ambient doesn't play. So all we're hearing is the bass and the drum's main swing. Okay, but then if this goes up, and you'll see as I do it, these are going to start to fade up and they're going to get louder. Sort of like if you're getting closer to an enemy or something like that, it's going to get louder, but then you walk away from the enemy and it can get quieter again. So I'll just do that right now.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much easy.
Subtle, but the arrangement got a little more intense as the stealth factor went up and as we, maybe got into a little bit more danger. So this is why it's called hamburger, because these things are all stacked on top of each other or vertical. And then depending on what is actually happening in the game, we decide to play certain files or to not play certain files.
That was a very, very quick ending of the video. It's killing me. So okay, I get the gist of it. I have the freedom of doing whatever I want, but the vision I had is maybe a little too much, because let's say we have a island track, right? On island track, would need 6 different songs or layers, whatever, for the 6 different elements. That's easy to do. Like just making a similar melody or complementing melody with different instruments, and then I can fade them in and out, and even we could play them all together at some point or something. Let's say, I don't know, not what we wanted. So fire, earth, water, lightning, crystal, air. The problem now is, if we start a battle and I want a horizontal resequencing, this start of the battle could be anywhere. Like it could be here, it could be here, it could be anywhere. And then I would need like little cues that say, when we start here, we need to wait to this cue to transition to whatever. Right? So I have like different cues. And then from the cue, we need to play a track that goes from here as a transition to the battle music. And now, do I need 6 different transition tracks? What's with the other cues? They need a different transition track too. And then of course we need the battle music that fits to this transition. So that's an overkill. With my skills, that's rather too time consuming. I would need months to do one track. And giving this to someone else, I don't think there is someone in my budget to be able to make something like this. So what else can we do? Do I just transition with just fadings? Just fade out this part and then just fade in the battle? I mean, I could at least make it so that we have a crossfade, and the transition part is the beginning of the battle song. Like, I don't know, a build up to the battle music. And then we can loop the battle music afterwards. Right? Now again, I don't know how the battle music should sound like. Does it have anything to do with the elements? Does it sound way different? Do I use synths and so on? my god. Ah. Okay, then I mean there is no choice. We need to make a battle start up music. What should we call it? Chunk block? Anything else? How do I fade into the overworld music? Do I need to fade into win and lose? Something like that. So we have like a overworld music. From there, we have like a battle startup music, and we loop the battle music. Then we can lose, which has a different transition, I guess. Like ending the battle music abruptly and then just playing the game over sound, I guess, or something. But when we win, then of course the win music transitioning into the reward page loop, and from there we transition out of the reward music into the overworld. The overworld could just fade in again, I guess. Now, when I think about reward page music, I always am anchored to Final Fantasy. That's a problem. I hope I can get rid of that thinking. Hmm. I guess that's it. Then the first thing we have to do is find out a style for the battle music. Something hype. The problem is, I'm also not sure if the overworld music will stay as is. Because maybe I also want some synth sounds in there. Maybe it is a synergy between orchestral instruments and synth. And since because my game wants to how to say convey that it knows that it is a game or a digital world instead of immersion into fantasy. It's more like immersion into a digital environment, immersing yourself into your PC, something like this. Well, I have like music in my head that kinda is nice, but I don't know how to translate this into FL Studio. Like, how do I create this sound that I have in my head? And the moment I play around with samples, I will lose this idea because it will cloud my my thoughts. This is bad. Also, we need a new format template. Can I just go into an empty project? Power user what? Empty. Here. No. What was that? Okay, Serum 2. I guess we can update it at some point. How do I play this? No. What the hell? not good on the ears. How do I reset things? How do I change the frequency? How do I change the shape? Here. How do I get this down? So people do sounds, man. How does this work? Only this one is on. Envelope 1 is on. 2 is 2 on the level here. He's probably not being used. How do I know what envelope 1 and 3 is doing? Not playing. Is this on? The LFOs are not being utilized. Man. Asset ladder. Which are they connected to? Filter 1. Wait, filter? Where's the filter? My god. You know, I want to do one thing, and then there is this huge mountain in front of me. Well, at least something on Helldivers is happening, so let's tune in there. I guess. Well, nothing happens. I'd like to. Anyway. Die Treppe? What? how does this work, man? And it doesn't even stop. It isn't using envelopes, is it? And it's different. Hello, Meta. Thank you, but they are not my beats. Trying to understand how samples are made. Like, what? I make a key press and there is so much going on. What is this? Is this a file? Is this actually a file? I don't understand. Something is going on here. How many LFOs can you actually add? What? My God. And when does it stop? Does it even ever stop? What if I turn this off? Okay, this is just this humming in the background. There's no sound anymore if I get rid of the oscillators. What if we... It just gives it like this undertone, I guess. But did the stream die? Or for Helldivers? Are they like, nah, you're too fast? What's going on? What happened to the stream? Meta. Yeah, I guess because when they did this, it was like just technical changes in the background, so they actually went offline now. Whatever. Keep me updated. Now, how do they do this? Like, is there a way for me to understand what this is? Oh, they're back. Now they have to say down, up, down, up. It's still not finished. Call me when they are finished. Those different sounds? I turn off LFOs? Returning. To have different. This must be like different files here. There's no way. Like, it even says. Okay, they upload some kind of file in there. Can I add something like this? How would I do that? How do I enter a wave file into this? Wavetable, multisample. Ah, it's multisample. And we can have one sample. What's granular? What is this? No tone. Can I do anything with it? One left. I will tune in real quick. Spectral. No fucking idea what is it. Go back to Helldivers. Okay, they got it. What now? Monkey live reaction, let's go. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's online, what does it mean? Yes, there are no directives anymore. So speed, satellite 215. Is this just the current time? It is the current time. What's the top left? Oh my god, Arrowhead! What are you doing, man? Stop teasing. Tile DELS EGL1 BILI. That thing, that string on the bottom changes. What does that mean? Where's the purple dot? What do you mean? Oh, you're right. Could be the black hole. Well, I guess nothing happens. I just turned off again because thank you, Arrowhead, for wasting my time, I guess. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I want to understand what these things are. Multi-sample. How do I add things in here then? Load. Factory. Drums. Let's put something in there. Damn. What? Drums. Interesting. Wait, is this actually from Factory? Baby Grant. This one probably. I see, so that's how they get the instruments in there. I don't think it's live stream. I think it's just what to call it? Just a static. It will probably transition into the trailer or something. Okay, so that's how they do that, but for my thing, that's not what I need. That's the old stuff. Instruments. Lead. Loop. I need something similar what is in my head so I can understand how they did it. What the hell is this? That's like its own melody already. Which part of this does the recursion? Turned off that. Where does this come from? From the noise? It is the noise. What? This has like nothing. Is this random? How can I go to a empty one again? Can I clear this? I don't know, but I'll certainly do it like this for now. So how did they get to that atomic thing? What was that noise called again? I don't know. Atmos. Okay, I don't know. Where was I? What did we listen to? Oh my god, I lost it. No idea. Oh my god, what was it? What the hell is this? Oh my god. What does this even do? Oh my god. How do I get this away from there again? It is funny. Interesting. Uh-huh. Anything new on the Helldivers front? They play around with the cutoff here. Some LFOs, I guess. I turn it. Ooh, that was loud. Oh, no news on front. What is that? How do you even make this? Path. That doesn't have the envelope thing. What is the main tuning? So much happens with filters. Why is this non-stop firing? What makes it fired all the time? Why is it now offset here? Why is it not changing it? Hmm. Not clone. I think I lost the melody in my head. How do other people concept melodies in their head, transfer it in? How does that work? The moment I hear something in Fruity Loops, I forget anything in my head. Or do people just go with vibes and then just ride the wave of thoughts and hopefully it stays there until you transfer it there, and then if it's not there, you just go to a different pattern, maybe. I don't know. Oh god. Hmm. They just added these things here and nothing changes, right? Yeah. Is this doing anything? Was not doing anything. Inverse. Oh god. How am I going to tackle this? Like, I know what I want to do, but there's this huge roadblock. I mean, I can achieve this with like dummy things that then sound like nothing, just as a proof of concept, but I don't want that. I want something to listen to. Even if it's not that good, something I want. But that something needs synths. And I have no idea about synths. So do I first learn that? And that seems like I cannot just do that in one day. I think. Yes, we have to adjust to the outcomes of today and tomorrow. And then see if I just abandon the idea that I will make music myself in the near future or not. At least in a state where I would say, yeah, this is okay for the prototype. But right now I can't even put out any sound. That's the problem. I go to Serum and then I want how to say, like, I'm like do. But how do I do that? Like, how do I get a gritty sound and then modulate it that it does this pattern? I have no idea. How do I make another pattern here? Piano rolls, please. I don't know how this will go, what happened. Let's see. Of course, doesn't fit. I mean, maybe we can come up with something. But I think I'm done for today. Well, maybe tomorrow we will just experiment with the serum. Let's see if we can get some interesting sounds. And then decide from there, I guess. But yeah, the idea is to make some kind of battle music. So we can transition the overworld music into the battle music. And then fade out the battle music into a victory thing, I guess. Or transition. So we will see. Anyway, I'm done for today. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye, monkey.